Good morning, everybody. All right, I'm going to make a comment about the market, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about mental toughness, which is the trait you're going to need, not just for trading, but if you're going to be a success in life, you need mental toughness. But let me start off with the market, where we saw today the ADP employment report, 216,000, higher than the expectations of 170,000. Now, I have been tracking the employment and withholding tax deposits to Treasury from the daily Treasury statement, and that has been showing weakness in the month of November versus the month of October. Now, this is not an infallible analysis. It has given me some wrong signals in the past, but it tends to be a pretty good forecaster. So, whatever, we saw a stronger ADP report. People buying stocks, they're buying the futures up. They're buying the dollar. These are obvious trades. They're selling gold, okay? These are obvious trades. Now, nothing profitable is ever easy or obvious. Let me just state that. I mean, if all we had to do, and I've said this in the past, if all you had to do was sit around and wait for a strong number and then buy, and wait for weak numbers and then sell, I mean, we'd all be gazillionaires in a very short period of time. Nothing that works and nothing that is profitable is ever obvious or easy. Okay, let me repeat that. And I guess that's a good segue to the mental toughness. What is mental toughness? Mental toughness is having that grit and that ability to get through difficult and challenging and demanding times. And no matter what your situation is in life, I don't care if you're, incredibly wealthy and privileged, or if you're just a humble guy trying to make it, or if you're out of school or whatever, you need mental toughness in order to achieve success, because life is going to throw stuff at you that is going to be unpleasant at times. Now, I've talked about trading in terms of really kind of an allegory of life. It exposes you. It puts you up against mental and emotional tests. And, I've repeated it so many times that it's not about the system. It's not about the methodology. It's about you and controlling your emotions and having the mental toughness and the resiliency to get through the difficult times, which never end. They never end. I mean, some of you might be thinking that, hey, once I know this, once I know MMT, and once I know how to buy and sell, then I'm there. I crossed the finish line. Well, let me tell you something. There is no finish line. There is never a finish line. It is a constant process of moving forward. And the only easy trade you will ever have is the last trade that you just closed out at a profit. Did you ever hear that saying? The only easy day was yesterday. Same thing with trading. The only easy trade you are ever going to have was the one you just closed out at a profit. Because the next one, you're going to have to go through the ups and the downs, the difficulties, the grinds, the test of your will, and you're going to have that mental toughness. How do you develop mental toughness? Well, it's easy. The explanation of how you develop it is easy, but doing it is not so easy. The way you develop it is to constantly put yourself in situations that are challenging and demanding and hard and stressful and painful sometimes. The more times you can pass through that and just get through, the stronger your emotional makeup, your mental framework is going to be. It is going to be a constant struggle, and the ones who give up and go out there, let's say, trying to seek a system that's going to carry them through this, like in balls of cotton, that's just not going to happen, okay? But the ones who understand, and it's not even about really doing it. Like, you could listen to me tell you this and say, yeah, I got to do it. But it's about having that fundamental understanding that that's what it takes. Once you embrace the idea that this is what it takes, that this is what it's all about, It's about nothing else. Again, I could throw darts at a dartboard and make money. Maybe not a lot, but I can do that. I could take any system and make money. I could take any trade that anyone here gives me and make money on. But once you understand that it's not about that it's just about, hey, I'm going to be faced with these challenges all the time. It never ends. It never gets easy. It's going to be demanding of me all the time. But if you can accept that, if you can understand that that is the core principle, that is the one and only thing you need to know and accept. I mean, you might know it, but you might not accept it. You have to accept it. Once you accept it, okay, then you have something that will drive you. Once you make that your passion, your driving force, that desire to embrace the hardship, to go at it head on, to tackle it, to rise above it, to seek it out every single time, and to understand that the minute you put on a trade, the next trade after the one you just closed out, you're going to be going through this again. Once you say, okay, that's the process and I accept it and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get through that, then you're going to see. You're going to see how the success is going to pile up. Nobody talks about trading in these terms. And it's really interesting because this is the key, this is the secret that unlocks the success. It's always in analytical terms, it's always in profit loss terms. Those things are just, they're meaningless, and profits are secondary. As I said before, they pile up. Once you understand that the game is about you and what it's going to demand of you, then, you're on your way. You're on your way. And losses, they become a thing of the past. As long as you are not overexposed, which is part of mental game, I've explained it, that's gambling. As long as you are not overexposed, losses become a thing of the past. But you have to understand that the only easy trade was the last trade you just closed out at a profit. It just keeps on going. And the more you expose yourself to that, the more you embrace that, the more you say, I'm going to push myself through it, then you're going to see how the success and the results are just going to start to build and build and build. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. For some of you, I wish I had better news than that, but for those of you who understand it, that is the good news. That is the good news, because when you realize that, then success is yours. Once you understand that, that's all that is being asked of you. And everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. You get through a minute, you get through an hour, you get through a day. When times are looking rough and times are looking different, don't look at the market all the time. I always tell people, people who inquire about my courses, well, is this going to take a lot of time? No, you never really even have to look at the market. I mean, I do not even recommend looking at the market. You could place your orders, based on 10 minutes of analysis, market composition and price levels, and an understanding of MMT. It doesn't even really matter how precise you are in the placement of orders. Once you have the macro MMT picture correct, basically you know that you either have to buy or sell. It's not important to look at the market after that. But is it going to test you? Is it going to make you nervous? Is it going to make you anxious? Is it going to make you, scared out of your mind sometimes? Yeah, but you're just going to have to deal with it. And if you can deal with it, if you can rise above it, you're there, or you're on your way. Bye-bye.